So 2 weeks ago, when we were supposed to turn in our outlines for this informative briefing, that day I was fasting the entire day. So I hadn't eaten anything. So not only was I hungry, I was frustrated, I was tired, and I just realized that minute that, oh crap, I had to turn in this outline tomorrow and I still don't have a topic. So, being hungry, I always look through Google images of food because I'm fasting and that's the best thing I can get to, food. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do something I feel passionate about, and that's Indian food. So when I think about Indian food today, I realize how westernized it's become. It's no longer what I truly see as authentic Indian food. For instance, most Western restaurants that try to do Indian food, they avoid spices completely. Monica Bide wrote in a Washington Post article that the true essence of Indian food is the spices. And without that, the true essence is lost. So as we can see, Western food has really taken control of what Indian food really should be. Who's heard of chicken tikka masala? You have? I would assume that a few of you guys would have. It's a very popular Indian dish in America, London as well. But in fact, it's not Indian at all. It was originated outside of India. So that just goes to show you these meals, two different variations of chicken tikka masala, they're not even Indian. So what I really want to accomplish through this presentation is to show you guys what true, authentic, real Indian food is and what it means to me. And I think the best way to do that is by discussing the three main regions: Western or Punjabi food, Northern or Punjabi food, Western or Gujarati food, and Southern, Tamil, and Madrasi food. And hopefully, by studying the regional cuisines, you'll be able to see what true, authentic, what real Indian food is. Starting off in the north, Punjabi food in the Punjab region is really classified by a high use of dairy products, especially milk, mainly because the climate is a little warmer, so it allows for that. Milk products such as paneer, which is a homemade cheese, sweets, dahi, which is plain yogurt, ghee, which is a clarified butter. Also, because the climate is very cool, as I mentioned, this use of spice is very mild. So they use cumin, turmeric, ginger, garlic. These are all common spices. I'm sure a lot of us have used it in our own kitchens. So it's not very high impact of spices. Punjabi cuisine is really influenced by the Mughal Empire. So when the Mughals came in from Persia and the Middle East, coming into India, taking control of that northern region, they brought around their traditions and their foods as well. So not only is the architecture in India, such as the Taj Mahal, influenced by the Mughal Empire and the Mughal era, so is the food. So for instance, lamb curry, it was brought in during the Mughal era, and it's a combination of what the Mughals had their food and the Punjabi true regional cuisine. So that's really influenced the whole cuisine in general. Rustica, which is a DC restaurant, was reviewed by Tom Sietsma of Washington Post, and he said that the North Indian food is such classic Indian food. It's probably the most popular Indian food outside of India. And the two best sellers Rustica has is samosas, which are these pastries that are filled with potatoes and peas, and they're fried, and they're spiced, it's delicious. And paneer makhni, which is using that homemade cheese that I discussed earlier and putting that into a delicious tomato gravy. Coming down the map with Western or Gujarati food. And in fact, I feel very close to Western and Gujarati food because I myself am Gujarati. So in fact, I had the best source for this. My mother, my grandmother, and even my father. There's nothing better I can say for that. Western or Gujarati food is classified by three main flavors: spicy and salty, as we would expect, and as well as sweet. And now the sweetness is there to counterbalance that spicy and salty in these savory dishes. Also, according to the UCLA Culture Department, vegetarianism plays a key role in Indian cuisine, especially in Gujarat. So 69% of all Hindus are vegetarian, and that's mainly clustered in Gujarat. So because of the Hindu ideology, which prohibits eating meat, almost all Gujarati foods are vegetarian. They have a heavy use of vegetables because of that, which is bitter melon, okra. And because there's no meat, the primary source of protein is lentils. And they make this lentil dal, which is a lentil soup, which they serve at all of their meals. Nirvana, which is another restaurant in this Gaithersburg area, is described as Indian comfort food, and that's what Gujarati food really is. So they use a thali, which is literally meaning a dish, and that basically is a full meal. You have 2 to 3 vegetable dishes, you have your rice, you have your flatbread, your sweets, and a little salad, and that's basically what a full Gujarati meal consists of. Coming down the map, we come to southern food, or Tamil and Madrasi food. Rice is a staple grain. Unlike the western and northern regions, which use wheat flour, they use a lot of rice flour. So they make these rice flour cakes, which are steamed, and these rice flour crepes, which are literally this long. They're paper thin, but they come out to be so long and so crunchy. So when you walk through the streets of Mumbai, you see the street vendors making these fresh in front of you, and it's just a magnificent sight. Because the climate is very warm here, there's a heavier use of spice, including mustard seeds, black pepper, cayenne pepper. And Paru's Indian restaurant is this final restaurant I'm going to be talking about, which is classified as really true South Indian food. Idlis, dosas, sambar, which is another type of lentil soup, and that's really the main things that Paru's Indian restaurant serves. So look, going back, we see northern food, western food, and southern food, and I think that's really what classifies true Indian food. We've all heard the statement, eat to live or live to eat. I confidently can say that I live to eat. Indian food has become such a big part of my culture, such a big part of who I am. So I really hope to kind of convey that message to you and convey what true, authentic, real Indian food is. And hopefully you guys can appreciate it as much as I appreciate it. Thank you.